Well, what is up and what is going on, everybody? Welcome aboard the Fantasy Fast Track today on this wonderful Wednesday morning. We're just here to talk about running backs today. So, let's start off with some quick news. Let me pull out my list real quick. So, last night, Tuesday night, Cooper Kupp went down with a leg injury, and really there's no update as of right now, but he's one of the top wide receivers in the league, so hopefully it isn't anything too serious, but we won't know till later on, so I guess keep your tabs on that. Tim Patrick, wide receiver for the Denver Broncos, is set on not playing with his new contract. He unfortunately tore his Achilles yesterday in practice, and I'm sure he'll be out for the rest of the season unless some crazy thing happens where he makes it back for, the Super Bowl? I don't know. As far as other injuries go, Zach Moss has broken an arm. He will be out for the next 6 weeks, and hopefully that doesn't cause him any more issues. But that means if Jonathan Taylor is falling out and Zach Moss is injured, it means Deion Jackson is pretty much a wide open backfield. And last year when he was in, he was able to produce at a fairly fair clip. So he may be somebody you can look up later in your fantasy drafts or in Dynasty. You might as well just pick him up, throw him on your bench. You might get a little bit of playing time there as well. Let's see. The Seahawks, both their running backs are hurt. And who knows what's going to happen there with Charbonnet and Walker both down. Charbonnet has injured shoulder. They are saying it just more or less just started hurting. So maybe somebody punched him while he's sleeping. I don't know. And then as far as Ken Walker goes, he has pulled a groin and he's going to have, it's just a soft tissue thing. And so hopefully he can get enough rest here in the preseason so that he will be ready for the regular season and it's not something that lingers. Injuries like that tend to linger and then they're never really quite themselves till halfway through the season or they re-aggravate it. And that appears to be it of any serious consequence. There were some injuries earlier in the week. If you did not catch it, you got Jalen Ramsey with his meniscus. That's a fun word to say. Jalen Ramsey with his meniscus. He'll be out until probably December. Joe Burrow has a calf strain that is kind of up in the air. And I'm sure I'm forgetting another one that I don't have written down. There's the Jonathan Taylor back fiasco. So he might have a hurt back. He might not. Who knows? Maybe just looking for something to hold out just a little bit longer so he can maybe get the bag over at the Colts, but who knows? The way running back markets are going, that's probably not going to happen. So, this is what everybody's here for. Let's break down some running backs outside the top 36. Coming in at number 5, we have Roschon Johnson. With Roschon Johnson, he is the rookie running back for the Chicago Bears. He has proven in his college days that he is a well-rounded back. He can catch passes. He can run. He ran for 6 yards a clip, which is exceptional in the college level and obviously in the professional level. And if he can keep that up, he will be able to outrun Khalil Herbert. And one of the biggest things that Roschon Johnson has in his favor is that he can protect the quarterback. And that is one thing that really will get you off the field is if you're not able to protect the quarterback as a running back, such as Khalil Herbert. That was one of his big flaws this past year, and that was one of the big knocks that his coach had on him this previous offseason is they were asking, all of the beat reporters and different things, were asking if that is something Khalil Herbert can do, is be a 3-down back. And he said, and his coach said, well, I don't know. He needs to be able to protect the passer first. And so that is one thing that, if Roschon Johnson can slide in there and be a good pass protector, when it comes down to it, he'll get those dump-off passes because he's in on passing downs. And with being such a good runner and a good, well-rounded back, he'll be able to sneak in there, and he is somebody that could surprise. And he's going in the middle of round 12, so you're not needing to reach for him, and he's just somebody you can pick up later in drafts, throw on your bench, give it a couple weeks, and he may surprise you. Let's talk about RB number 4 now. RB number 4 is Tank Bigsby. He is the rookie running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They picked him up because Travis Etienne was struggling, taking over the full workload, and they're looking for somebody that they can split reps and get him in there. With his rushing ability, especially in the red zone, he may be able to pick up some touchdowns, which is what us fantasy players love, and be able to get in the end zone and be a good back that you can put in your flex. And if there is any injury to Travis Etienne, which he has shown that that is the reason that they're trying to lessen the workload with him. If there is any injury, he can possibly be a league winner, and you can pick him up in the middle of the 11th round, which that's late enough to where you're not having to reach, and he's just kind of filling your bench spots later in drafts. With him being, he's the number 54 running back. This is all according to Half PPR Fantasy Pros rankings, so you can find those on their website or whatever if you're trying to fact check. And so that really, Tank Bigsby doesn't have a lot to lose. He's not going to hurt you if you're picking him up later in drafts. And that was the biggest struggle with Etienne last year, was he wasn't able to score in the red zone, whereas Tank Bigsby, he is strong, and that's what he was used at in college. He was used in the red zone. So he is somebody that definitely can assist in your fantasy league. And from what the news is coming out of campus, he's actually has proven to be a fair pass catcher as well. So he's going to be able to give you a couple of PPR points on the side if that is true, and that is what is happening in camp. If you were getting value from this and would like to continue to receive insights for your fantasy team so that you can win a fantasy championship, hit that subscribe button down there. You can get all the videos when they come out and know when they come out, so you're not missing any news or any further insight on the. Let's talk about my running back number 3. Continuing on along the lines of rookie running backs, we're talking about Kendre Miller. He is the rookie running back for the Saints and is walking into a great opportunity as a running back there because of Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara will be suspended anywhere from 2, 4, 6 weeks. It is still waiting to be figured out there, but it's looking like, from what the beat reporters are saying and everybody else, it is probably going to be at least 4 weeks. So Kendre Miller, he's somebody you can pick up in the end of the 10th and possibly have a 4-week rental where he is getting a heavy workload. Jamal Williams is there, so he will probably cut in a little bit there, but if Kendre Miller proves in training camp how good of a back he is, and is able to continue what he was doing in college, where he was first in broken tackles per 100 carries. He had 18 broken tackles for 100 carries. That was what his average was. So he's able to get away from the line and get down the field. And they spent a 3rd round on him, so it's not like he's like a 7th rounder and he's just there to fill in depth. He being a 3rd rounder, he's entitled to an opportunity, unless you're a 49ers running back. Anyways, he's entitled to an opportunity to go and shoot a shot, and he probably will have a great opportunity. And when that opportunity strikes, he'll be able to go and score you some fantasy points. Let's talk about my running back number 2, and that is Gus Edwards. He is kind of just disappeared with all this J.K. Dobbins news. and everybody's jumping aboard the J.K. Dobbins train. But when they used Gus and J.K. Dobbins last year, when they both weren't injured, it was kind of a 50-50 timeshare. J.K. Dobbins was a little bit more efficient with his touches, but Gus Edwards still did very well. He was averaging over 4 yards a carry, and if J.K. Dobbins decides he wants to hold out and try and chase this fictitious money that these running backs think they're going to get, Gus Edwards could be a big boost to your fantasy team. He's ranked number 55 overall, and you can pick him up really after the draft. His ADP right now is the 190th position, which is the 15th round. So depending on your league, if you're playing in a smaller league, an 8 to 10 team, you're probably going to be able to pick him up on waivers. So you might even not have to spend any draft capital or any fab on him to get him. And he has a great opportunity to get a lot of carries if J.K. Dobbins goes down. And also, he can be used in the red zone because, let's be honest, when it comes to the red zone and the Ravens, they're either going to pass or they're going to hand it to the running back. That is how Latavius Murray made his bread and butter the other year. And with Lamar Jackson doesn't, which is kind of funny that he's such a prolific rusher, they don't use him in the red zone. Granted, there is a new offensive coordinator coming in, and that may change some things, but he only had in the last 3 years, he's had 11 rushing touchdowns, which you stack that up, there really isn't a lot compared to someone like Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, where they're just plugging him into the end zone every single opportunity that they get in the red zone. All right, and the person you've been waiting for, RB number 1, is Samaje Perine. He has just moved over to the Broncos. The Broncos are looking to revitalize themselves from the year they had last year. Samaje Perine has proven himself that he can be an efficient running back. He will be obviously behind Javonte Williams, but chances are they're going to run 2 running backs. That's how Sean Payton has really always done the running back position. You had with the Saints, you had Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara, and now you're going to end up with Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine splitting those carries, splitting those catches, and there is no reason for them to really give Javonte Williams a huge workload because he's coming off that huge knee injury. And if he gets 15 touches, well, he probably won't even get that if they're splitting it. He might even get 12 touches, and he can be very effective with those 12 touches, as you saw this last year with the Bengals. When Joe Mixon was out, Samaje Perine was a league winner. He was averaging over 20 points a game, and he was winning you weeks. So he has that tremendous upside with the Broncos this upcoming year. And he may surprise. He is currently ranked as the RB 37, and you're needing to get him in the beginning of the 8th, which is kind of a higher draft capital than these other running backs I was talking about. And he kind of is in that, I guess it's called the RB dead zone range, but he definitely has an opportunity, and he will be on the field. There really is not much depth, and with Tim Patrick going down, they're going to need another option on the Broncos team to just get the ball down the field. With Russell Wilson being kind of a shell that he is, there's going to be a lot of dump-off passes, and that's kind of how the Sean Payton offense has kind of always operated. It's either shorter routes for the wide receivers, or they're dumping it off to their running back. Last year, he had a 7.3 yards per reception, so he's not just a running back that is getting just little dump offs. He can be effective as a route runner. out of the backfield, running those wheel routes and other routes to get open and to relieve some of that pressure that Russell Wilson is going to be having as he is operating as the quarterback this year. Also, as well, they have the 6th easiest schedule for running backs this year. So obviously this may change, but so he has the opportunity to play against weaker rush defenses and capitalize on that. Well, that is it for us today with our discussion on running backs. If you got value, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time.